Hello, my name is Raine Schwartz. I am 17 and I will be going into the field of technical construction with a major focus in costume construction and design. My three pieces are all of my ThesCon pieces for my freshman, sophomore, and junior year. All three have won Superior at state. Two of them that have gone to internationals have both won Superiors. One is a Thesby winner, and the final one will be competing at Indiana this summer.
I started by researching how morning wear has developed over the centuries. While the show is set in the late 80s, I chose not to base her outfit off of that time period. Lydia mentions how strange and unusual she feels in the world, so I thought designing her character based on an older time period would enhance that, setting her out of place from the rest of the show. The high neckline with lace detailing and structural shape is loosely based on Victorian mourning fashions. While black was chosen for its obvious purpose of death, I chose a silk base underneath the detailed lace to pull the different colors of the light. I was fortunate to see an exhibit of the Beetlejuice production and learned that the green and purple lighting used throughout the show showed Lydia's process of grief. The lace bat at the collar is entirely hand crocheted with water-soluble fabric to stabilize and stitched into the neckline. The hardest part of this piece was I'd never used lace before, especially one that had so many gaps. Keeping seams even without puckering was insanely difficult, and I think I took the dress apart more than I actually sewed it together. I was 14 when I initially created this costume, and it kick-started my love for the art form. It was my first taste of true creation from scratch and helps me know what I wanted to do with my life. During the 12-bar sequence of the Think of Me break between rehearsal and Christine's performance night, 3 extra ensemble ballet dancers bring out a double-layered circle skirt with a butterfly sack back kept strong with a bow in a cage, unzipped and slip it over and under the Christine actress. It is then sealed at her waist with an invisible zipper widened for the wig. The bodice into the robe skirt is made of an ivory satin. The color was used to allude to the white dress Empress Sisi wore, who inspired much of the rose character. A hand-embroidered rose with crystallized accent is attached at the waist of the robe for closing. This makes the detailed bottom of a stomacher, which would have been used in an outfit in the 18th century when in ball gown form. To emphasize this, the butterfly bustle follows the folds seamed into the dress to widen. The most difficult part of constructing this dress was creating stability within the bodice, which in turn created a minor problem that needed to pause in construction. To certify the fabric, fusible interfacing was first used. However, this blend of satin I later found rejected the interfacing, and instead I had to layer fabric to keep it solid. This added fabric created thick folds that my older machine didn't like well, and many needles broke. In total, the costume process took about 4 months, 2 of planning, 1 of sourcing materials, and 1 for sewing the piece. The total cost was $97.64. The whole gown is 18 yards of fabric, and the dress, when weighed, is about 15 pounds. Silk ended up being my final fabric choice, as the shine on the stage felt wet, giving that under the sea vibe. I wanted to keep the animated tail silhouette, which is a sleek body and a fan-out tail. This shape was accomplished with a pencil skirt that has a flare-out, also known coincidentally as a mermaid skirt, and 2 circle skirts sewn together and gathered at the pivot point. When looking at the paintings, I liked the added fins at what would be the side of someone's thighs. These fins are known as pectoral fins, and while pretty, also have a practical use. I wanted my Ariel to feel real in her tail and thought that adding true fish anatomy to said tail would further sink in the immersion. Figuring out these side fins was a struggle. The organza used had a very low thread count and can fall apart in a second if you aren't careful. My first draft was a straight stitch around the whole perimeter and a thin layer of hot glue around the edges. While this did seal the edges, it truly looked ugly and cheap. So I started again. This time I tried a zigzag stitch. I know I could catch threads, and if done with high tension and small stitches, it might keep the seams together. This ended up working. The purple top veered away from the stereotypical shell bra seen in almost every mermaid design. I felt if this fantastical land of Atlantica was real, shells didn't make sense as a top. I also felt this wasn't size inclusive for actresses with larger busts. Instead, I wanted to think about what she could make with what grows under the sea. I found there's a type of large algae, similar in shape to kelp or seaweed, that is purple, called Quattro macro, which has that lovely light lavender hue. Once this plant was found, I thought of a top that still had a beachy look while being supportive for all body types. In the end, I came up with a double-tie V bralette with some extra coverage under the bust. I struggled with the costume, not in the sense of technical issues, but my own body crashing on me. The first few months, I had a broken foot and could not use the pedal of my machine for more than an hour each day. I truly thought I would be risking not being able to finish this costume, but thankfully I healed enough that I could get back to my normal routine with added chiropractor visits and lots of icing. The season of sewing and costuming has shown me that I'm not as indestructible as I thought, and that I needed to not only take care of my department, but myself as a great payoff.